Do you want the top 8 tips to know before listing your home? If so, stick around. That's what we're going to cover on Q&A Sunday. Hey everyone, I'm Rich Dallas, Berkshire Hathaway, the Dallas-Fincham team, and on today's episode of Q&A Sunday, we're going to cover the top 8 tips you should know before listing your home. Number 1, do your homework on the numbers. Even before you have someone come over, check and see, run some comps on your own, just to kind of give an idea of what you think the house might be worth. So if the agent comes in and says that it's worth this, and you think it's worth this, or he says this and you're thinking this, that's a totally different conversation that you need to have with that agent. Now, don't be unrealistic, and please do not put too much weight on a Zillow Zestimate, because Zillow has never been in your house, they've never been in my house, they've never been in your neighbor's house, but yet they have a value on every home on the street. And that is just based off of an algorithm around the house. It's not based on anything other than that. So if a house 2 doors down from you is worth $10 million, that is going to throw your algorithm out the window. Same as if there is a house down the road from you and it's only worth $10,000, it's going to throw your algorithm out the window. So keep that in mind. Look at relevant sales, and that is what's going to give you a good idea for the numbers that you should do to get a little bit of the homework. Now, number 2, get your home market ready. Now, what does that mean? Market ready is a little bit different for everyone, but market ready to me as an agent is going to be free of clutter. You're going to have a nice, presentable product. I don't want it to look, it doesn't need to look like a model home. It needs to look presentable. People know you still live there, so just get it ready where you're not climbing over things to get from room to room, and it just looks good. If you want a couple of tips on that, ask us. We're certified stagers. It's fantastic. And certified stagers just means we took a couple classes. All right. Hire a reliable agent. This guy, or anyone on my team, or anyone that you trust that is a good agent. There are a ton of good agents out there. There are a ton of bad agents out there. If you listened to a couple of weeks ago when we talked about your agents sucking, that was the agent you want to avoid. So hire a reliable agent. That agent is going to give you the best advice possible to bring the right buyers through the door and get you the best deal possible. And don't forget, it's not always about the money. I mean, a lot of people put an emphasis on the money, but there's also other terms and conditions on an offer that matter. So make sure you're getting a reliable person that can walk you through every single step and stage of the transaction. And here in Pittsburgh, tip number 4, there is no bad time to sell a house in Pittsburgh. People say that, it's cold in the winter, nobody wants to move. That's not true. The majority of relocation happens in the third or the fourth quarter and the first quarter, because that's when companies are making moves. Then in the springtime, people like to move in the spring because they're going to move actually during the summer. So the weather has a better chance of being nice. And in the fall, you're always seeing people transition jobs as the new school year, or people want to get in for the school year. So they're switching areas all the time. There is never a bad time in Pittsburgh to sell a house. If you want more specific data on that, I can give you certain weeks of the year that I would not suggest listing your house, but I can back it up with data. So if somebody just says, oh, you don't want to list in December, I can prove data point wise why it's a good idea to list in December, January, February, March. You pick a month. I'll show you why you can do it and how we can get it done. Tip number 5, your house might not sell like hotcakes. Just because you've heard all the stories that everyone's house is selling like crazy and it's fantastic, you don't necessarily have the same result because you don't have the same house as somebody. And it all comes down to price. That goes back to hiring a reliable agent, making sure that the house is priced accurately. Because if you overprice a house, it's still going to sit on the market even in today's conditions. Number 6, be a helpful part of your sales team. Don't don't just rely on your agent to tell the world that your house is for sale. When you're out and about, tell everyone your house is for sale. Tell the bartender, tell your waiter, tell your waitress, tell everyone that you meet that your house is for sale, because you just never know where that buyer is going to come from. So it's always helpful to just be a part of everything that's going on. And number 7, you got to know your numbers. Whether you're making a profit or a loss on selling your home, you really need to know where you stand, because if you are losing money and you need to bring money to the table, I'm sorry if you're in that situation, but it does happen more often than you think. Even in today's market, you got to know what those numbers are. And if you're using the money to buy another house, you also need to know what your profit is, so you know where you're going to allocate those funds to the new house and how it's going to all work out. So just know your numbers. And tip number 8, prepare the right paperwork. So everybody in Pennsylvania needs to fill out a seller's disclosure. Whether you're a for sale by owner or you're listed with an agent, you need to fill out the seller's disclosure, because that's part of PA law. And now, other things, death certificates. If you are setting up an estate, make sure all that is ready to go and done ahead of time. You have it, so when you hire that reliable agent, you already know where all that paperwork is and how to get it to the agent, so we can make sure that everything happens correctly and that we have the right names on the agreement. Because if somebody passed away, they should not be on the agreement because they can't sign. And if it should be in the estate of so-and-so, it should be in their name versus Joe Smith. So those were 8 tips of what you should know before you list your home. I hope you found it helpful. Before I go, I have to say, happy birthday, Mother. It is your birthday today, and I just wanted to say happy birthday, and I love you. I hope you're watching. If you're not watching, I guess this is kind of odd, because I just said happy birthday to everyone else who is watching. Anyway, happy Sunday, have a great day, and happy birthday, Mom. Take care.